sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a place. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Yeah.
All right. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Easy Money, a sports betting show, Friday, August 18th, 2023. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez. How's it going?
I'm pretty good.
Get this back down here real quick.
Hoping for a big weekend for the Reds. Hoping they can win the series at least.
Yeah, it'd be nice for them win the series against the Blue Jays.
Not get a sweep, but that may be asking a lot. Toronto's a pretty good team, but winning the series would be great.
I'm interested to see what Hunter Green looks like on Sunday, making his return. That's
you know who's starting pitching tonight?
Yes, it's Kennedy.
Who the hell's Kennedy?
I think he started one game last week or something. Pitched pretty good.
Okay.
Didn't pitch too bad. But yeah, I think that he's one that they brought up a week or two ago. If I remember right, he's like 31.
Yeah, I think he's been.
It'd been a while since he'd been in Major League, but
I remember.
He pitched pretty good to start that he didn't make for the Reds. Hey, how's it going, Glenn?
Hey, Glenn.
See, my picks yesterday, I was 3-1. One of my games got postponed.
So did mine. They're playing doubleheader today. I ended up 3-1 also. Lost the Boston game. Boston and Washington.
I had the Cardinals plus 1.5 against the Mets, and the Mets beat the Cardinals pretty good yesterday.
I went to take a nap, and the game Boston and Washington was 1-1. I woke up and it was 10-7. Like, what the hell?
And hell, Washington was up like 10-1 or something, and let Boston get back in. Boston get back into the game.
I think it was like third or fourth inning. It was 1-1. I woke up and all hell broke loose.
Yeah. Well, Red Sox hit a grand slam. They scored like 6 runs in one inning. They hit a grand slam, and then a little bit later hit a 2-run home run, and got within 9-7. And then the the Nationals was able to add on 1 run, make it. Yeah, it looked like that they were going to come back. Glenn says NASCAR pick.
What the hell are you doing?
I don't know what my problem is right now, but NASCAR pick Chase Elliott to win at the Glen.
Having all kinds of trouble there.
Hell,
I'm the one going on 3 hours sleep. Hell, you.
Not sure what that was all about, but that puts my picks at 449, 353 on the year. We got a pretty good slate of baseball games today. Got big UFC coming up tomorrow. NFL's only like 20 days away. College football, I think, is 9 or 10 days before we start. Been some good Little League baseball games on.
Well, that dude had a big first base glove on, or he would have hung on to that one. He about to drop that one.
Venezuela trying to hold on and get a win over Panama here, 4-3, bottom of the sixth. Panama had a good chance of tying the game or taking the lead last inning.
What team was it? Taipei that had the pitcher. It was throwing like 82 miles an hour or something like that.
Yeah. He was throwing 80, 81, which is equivalent to like 104, 105 in Major League Baseball. Fastest I've seen somebody throw in Little League. He was firing that ball yesterday. I'm definitely want to see him throw again. I've seen kids hit like 78. I think it's about the fastest I've seen Little League kids hit. That's watching on here as well. But man, that kid yesterday, he was in the 80s. That's throwing the ball.
Yeah, it is.
Royals are up 2-0 now on the Cubs. Middle of the fourth inning. So Royals was able to get another run there in the fourth. Cubs are getting ready to come up to bat.
Cubs been good at coming back lately,
Yeah.
I mean, they've been really good at coming back. Something the Reds was at one time that fell off a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Hopefully, we just need I think it's fell off a little bit because we've been getting out to leads and then kind of losing the leads here lately.
Yeah, it was going to catch up with us because man, we was winning about every game coming back. It seemed like at one point.
Well, the Reds have played the most one-run games in the major leagues as well. So I mean, you're going to come out on the right side of some of them, but you're not going to come out on the right side of all of them when you play that many one-run games. It's a good thing and a bad thing. I mean, it means you're being competitive, but it also means that sometimes you might be playing down to some of your competition as well.
I listened to your sports show. I think it was last night, the late one with Judge. I think that's where you mentioned about all the injuries in the NFL right now. Man, there's seen another one, Philadelphia cornerback, man. There's
been a bunch of them, and it's crazy because of how cautious they are to try to avoid injuries. How many we get?
Yeah,
I wonder if some of it isn't because of the guys don't hit as much. I know, when you're hitting like that, it can raise the level of getting injuries, but it also your body has to build a callus and get used to doing that stuff. And if you're not doing it and getting used to it, and then you just go out there, I wonder if that's some of it. But I mean, you see guys with non-contact injuries. I mean, Colts just lost a guy for the season.
Yeah.
It just seems like we're losing a lot of guys before the season ever starts in a league that where most of the teams don't even play their guys in the preseason.
A lot of them haven't been in preseason. They've been in these scrimmages.
Or just at regular practice. But yeah. So there's been quite a few of them happening. I didn't even see who just came across now, but I know it seems like every day there's another two or three names.
There was a Philadelphia Eagle was a starter, I believe.
I forget who it was now, but I think it happened last night during that preseason game.
That game, yeah. Watched a little bit of it. Watched about 5 minutes of it.
Yeah, it's hard to watch those preseason games. I tried to watch a little bit of it. I ended up watching The Wedding Ringer. That movie's funny. Funnier than hell.
Yeah, it is.
I tried to watch it, but it's just hard. It's hard to watch preseason because most of them guys aren't even going to be playing here in a couple weeks, and a lot of them you don't even you don't even know who they are. It's just it's hard to watch because it's not really a competitive game. It's just.
I did have a question for you when I was listening to you in the Sports Judge the other night. He mentioned the fact that he doesn't really care for the commissioner of baseball, and the commissioner of baseball is pretty well disliked by everybody. I never knew that. Is that true? I mean, I've never.
Yeah, well, I think the commissioner's starting to get back on the good side of a lot of people. But back when the stuff happened with the Astros, he can't. A lot of people didn't like how he handled that, how he gave players immunity if they came out and kind of admitted what happened, and then he called the trophy a piece of metal. When people were saying that they should take it away from the Astros and stuff, he basically just said it was a piece of metal, and so he was taking a lot of heat there for a long time. I do think with these new rule changes and stuff that, and he's kind of been out of the media a little bit, hasn't been in that spotlight like he was back then a few years ago. I think has helped him. But yeah, he was really taking on the shins there for a while because of the way he handled the Houston Astros stuff. People didn't think he was strict enough on the Astros for the cheating.
Do you think that he was strict enough, or what do you think?
Yes and no. I mean, he did penalize him some, but I think like he penalized the manager and the Astros pretty good. Only thing I didn't care for is that you gave these players immunity to basically come out and admit what was going on. I didn't feel like players should have got immunity. If you're gonna fire a head coach and you're going to penalize anybody else that it was proven that they were involved in it, I think should have got some kind of suspension as well.
Listen, he showed up drunk.
Oh, he might have done that too.
Okay,
but
I'm not.
But I don't. But I just didn't like that. If you shouldn't give somebody a free pass immunity because they or to get them to come out and admit what was going on.
That's not unusual. That's not uncommon.
Yeah, but you know what I mean?
That's the
only thing I didn't care about.
But that's not uncommon.
And then just kind of dismissing the World Series trophy and that stuff, calling it a piece of metal. I mean, that I knew that was going to rub a lot of people the wrong way.
See, that scandal never bothered me. All these teams did that shit. Not all of them, but there was other teams that did the shit. I didn't. It just wasn't a big story to me. That's why I really didn't follow it. Now, of course, if my team was playing them in the World Series and I lost, I might be pissed. You know, everybody's got different views.
Glenn says the Bears game will be interesting tomorrow. Irsay's annual State of the Team interview. Oh yeah. Anytime Irsay gets in front of a microphone, you never know what's going to happen there. So yeah, I would say that will be interesting.
Now, isn't Harden's basically, I won't say screwed because he's going to get paid $32 million or whatever it is, but if he don't show up, he's not going to get paid, correct?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how this works out. I mean, I don't feel bad. I don't feel sorry for the dude.
Not at all.
You opted into the contract.
You signed it.
And if this was the first time he was trying to force himself out of somewhere, okay, maybe I would feel a little more sorry for him. But this is like the third time over the last 2 or 3 years. Yep. He wasn't happy in Houston, so he gained a bunch of weight, got out of shape, forced his way out of there. Went to the Nets, wasn't happy there, forced his way, or got over to the Sixers like where he wanted to be. Yep. And then now I don't want to be with the Sixers no more. But you wanted that money, so you opted in that contract. Glenn said maybe we'll find out how sausage is made. Oh yeah, you never know what Irsay is going to talk about. That is for sure. Sometimes it's like just keep a microphone away from that dude.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, we've talked about Jonathan Taylor, and he's handled things wrong. I'm not saying Irsay's opinion, what he said was wrong, because I mean technically what he said is true, but he shouldn't have said it.
You know, this is not something you probably want to say publicly when you're in the middle of a negotiation with a guy. But but hey, That's Ursay. I mean, that's how he's always been.
Yep, it's true.
He's not going to change, so he's not going to sell the team. So we're just going to have to deal with it because that's how it's going to be. But, all right, we'll jump into today's slated baseball games, and we'll talk some UFC after that. My first game going to be the Blue Jays and the Reds. I was actually thinking about staying away from this game at first, but the more I think about it, I think the Reds are going to win this game. I have a gut feeling on this game, so I'm going to go with my gut instead of going with. I was just a little worried about this pitcher just because I think this is only his second start this season, but he didn't pitch too bad his last start. But the Blue Jays are 1.5 run favorites. They're minus 148 on the money line. The Reds are plus 126 on the money line. Over unders at 10 runs. Blue Jays are 67-55 on the season, 35-28 on the road. Blue Jays will have Berrios on the mound. He's 9-8 with a 3.53 ERA. Blue Jays are 2-3 over their last 5 games, hitting .259 as a team on the season with 3.70 team ERA. The Reds are 63-59 on the season, 30-32 at home. They will have Kennedy on the mound, who's 1-0 with a 5.14 ERA. The Reds are 3-2 over their last 5, hitting .251 as a team on the season with a 4.76 team ERA. I like the Reds at the plus 1.5 at home. Even if something happens, I think I guess I have a gut feeling they're going to win this game. But if they was to lose the game, I think this is the Reds have played the most 1-run games in baseball, so I think there's a good chance that even if they lose, it'll be by 1 run.
2-1.
Cubs game.
Yeah, they scored.
So I'm gonna go with the Reds at the plus 1.5. My next game is going to be the Boston Red Sox, New York Yankees. The Red Sox are 1.5 run favorites, minus 126 on the money line. The Yankees are plus 108 on the money line. Over under at 9 runs. The Red Sox are 63-58 on the season, 28-30 on the road. They will have Bello on the mound tonight, who's 8-7 with a 3.81 ERA. The Red Sox are 2-3 over their last 5 games, hitting .261 as a team on the season with a 4.38 team ERA. The Yankees are 60-61 on the season, 35-28 at home. They will have Brito on the mound. I'm not sure on Brito's ERA because when I was getting everything together, the Yankees hadn't announced their pitcher yet. But the Yankees are 0-5 over the last 5 games, hitting .231 as a team on the season with a 4.04 team ERA. The Red Sox lead this season series against the Yankees 5-1 so far this season. I like the Red Sox on the money line today. The Red Sox, they kind of remind me of the Reds quite a bit in the way that they play the game and what the way their pitching staff is as well. So. And the Yankees have just been struggling. They're really struggling to hit the ball, and their pitching has been struggling a little bit as of late as well. So I like the Red Sox on the money line. Next game for me is going to be the Philadelphia Phillies at the Washington Nationals. The Phillies are 1.5 run favorites, minus 176 on the money line. The Nationals are plus 148 on the money line. Over under for this game is set at 9 runs. The Phillies are 66-55 on the season, 32-31 on the road. They will have Lorenzen on the mound, who's 7-7 with a 3.23 ERA. The Phillies are 2-3 over their last 5 games, hitting .255 as a team on the season with a 3.96 team ERA. Lorenzen has been real good for the Phillies since coming over after the trade deadline, or at the trade deadline, I should say. The Nationals are 55-67 on the season, 27-35 at home. They will have Adone on the mound tonight, who's 1-0 with a 5.14 ERA. The Nationals are 4-1 over their last 5, hitting .259 as a team on the season with a 4.88 team ERA. The Phillies do lead the season series versus the Nationals 6-4. But I like the Phillies with Lorenzen on the mound. like I said, he's been pretty much lights out since he joined the Phillies. Pitched 7 or 8 innings one game, and then had the no hitter the next game. So
Yeah, he's been good.
uh, he's been pitching well.
Well, he pitched well. Who was he with? Detroit, man?
Yeah.
Yeah. He pitched well there.
All right. Next game for me in baseball is going to be the Pittsburgh Pirates Twins. The Twins are 1.5 run favorites at home, minus 230 on the money line. The Pirates are plus 190 on the money line. Over under for this game is at 8.5 runs. The Pirates are 54-67 on the season, 25-35 on the road. They will have Jackson on the mound, who's 0-0 with the 5.47 ERA. The Pirates are 2-3 over their last 5 games, hitting .235 as a team on the season with a 4.61 team ERA. The Twins are 63-59 on the season, 34-25 at home. They will have Lopez on the mound, who's 8-6 with a 3.66 ERA. The Twins are 3-2 over their last 5 games, hitting .239 as a team on the season with a 3.92 team ERA. I like the Twins here at the minus 1.5. Next game is going to be Baltimore Orioles at the Oakland Athletics. Baltimore is 1.5 run favorite on the road, minus 190 on the money line. The Athletics are plus 160 on the money line. Over-unders at 8.5 runs. Baltimore is 74-47 on the season, 38-24 on the road. They will have Gibson on the mound, who's 11-7 with a 4.89 ERA. Baltimore's 3-2 over the last 5, hitting .250 as a team on the season with a 4.13 team ERA. Athletics are 34-87 on the season, 18-41 at home. They will have Medina on the mound, who's 3-8 with a 5.31 ERA. Athletics are 1-4 over their last 5 games, hitting .223 as a team on the season with a 5.75 team ERA. I like Baltimore here on the money line in this game. And my last game in Major League Baseball is going to be the Miami Marlins at the Los Angeles Dodgers. Dodgers are 1.5 run favorites at home, minus 142 on the money line. The Marlins are plus 120 on the money line. Over-under for this game is at 8.5 runs. The Marlins are 63-59 on the season, 26-32 on the road. On the mound for the Marlins is Alcantara. He's 5-10 with a 4.09. Marlins are 3-2 over their last 5 games, hitting .262 as a team on the season with a 4.24 team ERA. The Dodgers are 74-46 on the season, 41-20 at home. They will have Gonsolin on the mound tonight, who's 8-4 with a 4.24 ERA. Dodgers are 5-0 over the last 5 games, hitting .252 as a team on the season with a 4.20 team ERA. Dodgers have won 11 in a row now. I've been playing some really good baseball. I like the Dodgers on the money line. Marlins are a pretty good team as well. They're not a bad team at all. But Dodgers are good at home, and they really have had it together over the last couple weeks. So I'm gonna go with the Dodgers on the money line. So my picks from Major League Baseball: Red Sox money line, Cincinnati Reds plus 1.5, Phillies money line, Twins minus 1.5, Baltimore on the money line, and Dodgers on the money line.
My parlay for Major League Baseball tonight, I got Philadelphia money line at Washington. I got Milwaukee at Texas. I'll take Texas money line. I got Seattle at Houston. I'll take Houston money line. I got Tampa Bay money line at the Angels. And I've got Miami at the Dodgers, and I'll take the Dodgers money line.
Taking the Dodgers. Man, they've been playing good. I think this could be a good series though with them in Miami, because like I said, I think Miami's a better team than what a lot of people really give them credit for.
They pretty much destroyed Milwaukee.
Oh, the Dodgers, yeah, which was fine by me.
Oh yeah.
Not gonna hear me complaining about that too much. All right, we'll get ready to jump over to UFC. here in just 1 second. Tell you what, I think it's going to be a real good UFC card this weekend. There's a lot of good potential fights.
Yeah, I agree.
Of course, you never know what's going to happen once the fight. I mean, you know what I mean? The fights look great on paper, but sometimes they are great, and then there are times they're not. But this has the potential to be one of the better shows that they've had here recently.
Yeah, the main card, man. Those 5 fights on the main card are all should be, like you said, could very well be really good fights.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun to watch. All right, let me get the UFC odds pulled up. I got picks together just for the main card. I really didn't do much on the prelim. The featured prelim fight I was a little interested in just because it's Weidman. I've always been a Weidman fan. Man, I don't know if he's going to be able to get by Tavares. I think that's going to be a good one. Just don't know what Weidman's going to look like coming back, and he really hasn't. I don't know. He hasn't really been the same since that. Since he first had a couple losses a few years ago, so it's going to be interesting on that one. But I ended up deciding to stay away from that. But I do have picks for the main card.
Is Weidman the one that broke his leg, or is it?
Well, Weidman did break his leg, yes, but then Anderson Silva broke his leg fighting Weidman as well. Yeah, I think we actually have a video on our thing of when Weidman broke his leg.
Yeah, I don't think he's been the same since that either.
Which I mean,
yeah.
can kind of understand why. But yeah, he got that win over Silva and was kind of more moving. I mean, was a really pretty big star, and then he ended up breaking his leg, and he's kind of went down some. So it's going to be, and Tavares is pretty good. But for the UFC main card, we'll start with the first fight on the main card, which is going to be Marlon Vera against Pedro Munoz. Vera is a minus 205 favorite. Munoz is a plus 164 underdog. I'm gonna go with Vera on this fight. I think Vera is going to have a little too much for Munoz. I think this could be a really good fight, but I'm gonna go with Marlon Vera.
I did the same thing. I went Vera too.
And then the second fight on the main card, Mario Batista against Damon Blackshear. Batista's a minus 225 favorite. Blackshear's a plus 180 underdog. I like Batista in this fight. I think Batista is going to be a little too much for Blackshear on the feet. So I'm gonna go with Batista on the money line. Again, going with another favorite.
I went with Blackshear.
Oh, you're going with the underdog. Then you have Neil Magny versus Ian Machado Gary. Gary's a minus 520 favorite. Magny's a plus 370 underdog. I'm going with Gary. I know he's a big favorite, but I think he's the better fighter out of the two. I've watched Magny for a long time, but and I usually pick Magny, but I just think Gary's going to be a little too much for him.
What with Magny?
You going with Magny? So one of us ain't going to do. Isn't going to do.
I think Blackshear is going to take Batista down. I think that's why I think he's going to win.
Then the co-main event, women's fight. You got Weili Zhang against Amanda Lemos, or Zhang Weili, I should say, against Amanda Lemos. Welly's a minus 325 favorite. Lemos is a plus 250 underdog. I'm going with Welly. I think she's going to be too much for her striking on the feet. And then if Lemos is they're both good. They're both good strikers. This should be a real good fight to watch. They're going to go at it. But I do think that if Lemos does start to get the advantage on the feet, Zhang does have a plan B or a plan C that she can go to with her takedowns, and where I don't think Lemos has that as much. So I'm going to go with Welly for this fight.
I went with Welly also.
And then main event, you got the champion Aljamain Sterling against Sugar Sean O'Malley. I know this is the fight everybody's fired up wanting to see. Sterling's a minus 260 favorite. O'Malley's a plus 205 underdog. I'm going with the champ Sterling to retain here. The only thing that does worry me a little bit is he has been talking about bumping up to the next weight class after he won the last fight. He's talking about going up. And sometimes when the fighters talking about moving up, which I think some of it with him is he wants to move up, try to become a double champ or whatever. But sometimes when them guys start talking about moving up, it's because they're having trouble making the weight cut. And that could worry me a little bit if he's having a lot of trouble making the weight cut. How's his body going to respond? And I'll be honest, I was never like a real big Sterling supporter. But his last fight against, of course, I'm gonna go blank on the name. Henry Cejudo. He ended up beating Cejudo by split decision, and I think that was the best in my eyes that Sterling had looked. And O'Malley, I like O'Malley. He's an exciting fighter to watch. But his last fight against Jan, I actually thought Jan won the fight.
I agree.
And they ended up giving it to Sterling. There was a lot of people that thought Jan won the fight. I think I like Sterling. O'Malley's best thing on here is going to be his reach advantage. If he can stay on the outside and maybe hit a big shot and hurt Sterling, I think it's going to be his best chance. But I'm going to go with Sterling at the minus 260.
I'm going with Sterling too. I think the only chance O'Malley's got is got to stop him. I think if it goes to 5 rounds,
I think O'Malley needs to stop him too. Sterling has great cardio and everything as well. So it's going. I think it could be an exciting fight. But
I based a lot
on Sterling.
I based a lot on the fact that Sterling beat Cejudo, and I don't think O'Malley can beat Cejudo. But I know matchups, can make a difference. But yeah, I went with Sterling.
Even though I think Sterling beat Cejudo, a lot of that was due to because it was still a pretty close fight, and I think a lot of that was size as well. But hey, Sterling looked. I was like I said, I was the most impressed I'd been with Sterling, so I'm gonna back Sterling on this one.
I'm hoping I'm probably missed a couple of fights, but I'm hoping to be back in time. I'm gonna be out of town, but I'm hoping if everything works out, I'll be back in time to see the Magny fight on. That's what I'm hoping. I figure we'll be back around 11.
Hey, how's it going, Billy? What was her?
Yeah, what did you think about the story with AEW and one of their premier? I think we were Young Bucks and FTR. Cash Wheeler got arrested. I guess the incident happened August 27th. They put out a warrant for his arrest, and he
July 27th.
I said August 20. Yeah, July 27th. I said August 20. Yeah, July 27th. My fault. But he went to court today, but I do think he'll be there to wrestle because they didn't take his passport or anything. So it is a Class 3 felony.
Honestly, I haven't read about it, so I'm not even sure of everything that has happened.
Yeah, I don't know the whole story other than it was a road rage deal, and he showed his gun to somebody. The other guy may have been a real jerk. I don't know the circumstances or anything. I'm not.
Did he point the gun at him or just wait? You mean wave it? You know what I mean?
From what I read, he just flashed it. So, but it don't. I'm sure to get.
It's still not smart either way. It's still not smart. But
yeah, it's pretty dumb on his part.
But I mean, it don't sound if he's just done that and he really wouldn't up in the guy's face or he didn't hurt nobody or anything. So he'll probably get, I would say, some kind of probation or something like that. And I don't think he'll take a big hit publicly.
You think AEW
that way?
You think AEW will take a hit if they let him wrestle? He ain't been convicted of anything, and they didn't take his passport. So
I really don't think they should. But just the way that our society is now, it wouldn't surprise me if they don't get some people complain a lot of complaints and get a lot of flack about it. Personally, I don't. It'd be different if he hurt somebody, killed somebody, done something like that, and then you hold him out. But if he went to court, they didn't put him in jail or nothing. They didn't take his passport.
They pled not guilty.
I don't have a big problem at all with if they let him go ahead and wrestle on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, unless there was something that came out really damning, like a video or something come out and he was going berserk or something. But it don't sound like that was the case. If he was out of his car pointing it at him and yelling and screaming, that but it don't sound like that's the case.
Yeah, if there was more damning evidence, then I would be like, no, AEW would probably be smarter not to let him. But in this situation, I mean, and I kind of talked about this last night when on Gonzo and the Judge, you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, and that is kind of flipped in our society now. Is if something comes out, people just want to automatically assume everybody that you're guilty, and they want you punished right then and everything, and that's not how it's supposed to work. You're supposed to get a fair trial. See, and I'm not saying that he was right, because you shouldn't be white. There's no reason to flash a gun. To me, there ain't no reason to flash a gun unless your life is in jeopardy. But that's just my feelings on it. But did he do anything enough to break the law enough where he should be punished anymore? I think you have to wait and see how what all comes out of it. And then if AEW wants to say, hey, you can't be doing that, we're going to suspend you or something, okay? But I think AEW also don't want to jump the gun, and you don't want to suspend the guy for no reason either.
No.
So, like I said, I don't have a problem if they end up letting him.
I think he should be. I think
still
he
be
should,
on there.
I think he should go wrestle unless England had a problem with it or something. Hey, we don't want him, in the country or something like that. Then that might be different. But I don't think that would be the case. So yeah. Unless something really damning comes out, and it don't sound like to me that there is. I think he should be fine. Like you said, you're innocent to proven guilty.
And nobody got hurt out of, I mean, it's different if he would have shot somebody or if there was a major injury out of it or something. Then you might have to err on the side of caution until you get all the facts. But since there was nothing like that, to me, I don't see a big issue with it, like that Ric Flair highway incident.
I don't remember that. I remember the
Ric Flair's had so many different incidents.
I remember that. I remember the airplane incident.
I'll say he's had so many different incidents. It's hard to remember all of Ric Flair's incidents.
Yeah, Flair's crazy. Hell, he had an incident when it came to Indiana and did that appearance and signed autographs. Went to a bar in Fort Wayne or whatever and had an incident there when he did that.
Yeah, got into it with the waitress and got kicked out of the bar.
Got kicked out of the bar, yeah.
Yeah, because we were still on the show watching the show and found out about it.
Yeah. Like son of a bitch. Other thing, real quick with AEW, just real quick. I listened to Bully and Tommy Dreamer, and they had a guest on. I don't know if you remember from ECW, Michael Ripperek. If I can't say it, Michael Ripperek. He was a pretty big. I think he held every belt in ECW, but his career wasn't a long career. He watched AEW and got on Twitter and was making comments, and Bully invited him on the show, and he came on and he said, "Yeah, I hadn't watched the show in a while, and I watched it." And he basically said, "How do you guys watch this shit?" He said, It's horrible and it don't make sense. Well, Tommy Dreamer took up for him, and one thing I did like about Tommy's argument was, it's not the WWE. You guys want it to be more like the WWE. This is an alternative. So it is an alternative. So I mean, yeah, I understand why he's saying it. It is the alternative. It's like he said, ECW was the alternative to WWE and WCW. So I do see what he's saying to a certain degree. But Tommy didn't understand why they're doing Adam Cole and MGF on the pre-show of that card and then in the main event. He said, I will be honest, I'm scratching my head on. He said, I know they're probably setting up some kind of storyline, but I think it hurts you to put them in the pre-show and then in the main event. I think unless they could come up with something really big, then I don't know what that would be. He said, I don't understand it.
Yeah, didn't make a whole lot of sense to
That's
me
what, so,
either.
like a caller called in. He said, "Would you ever think The Rock and Stone Cold would be on the pre-show and then in the main event?" And he said, "This is their WrestleMania. I mean, this is the biggest show they've ever done." And Tommy was putting that over, but Big and Bully kind of brought him down to earth. He said, "They're having trouble selling 4,000 seats in the United States." He said, "Don't get me wrong, this is a big show, and it's great and it's awesome. But let's be honest, we're 4 years in, and their growth has stopped, and it's going the other way." So he said, and he said, it's awesome what they've done in the UK. Are they going to move to the UK? He said, they're not doing well in the States. He said ratings are down, ticket sales are down. He said,
Yeah. Like I said, I don't watch much.
match tonight with Edge is his last match. At least
Yeah,
that's the rumor.
I was going to ask you if that was going to be, if he was really retiring, or if it was part of a storyline or something.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. That's the rumor. And of course, AEW started. Edge is going to be at All In next Sunday. So, and who knows? I mean, I'm sure Edge and Christian would like to go at it, one more time, either as a tag team or against each other. So who knows?
Billy said back in the day, Jimmy Snuka got arrested here in Connecticut after a wrestling show. He was drunk and streaking through the hotel.
Yeah, Snuka was nuts. Well,
Yeah.
go by some of his later behavior, he was really nuts.
Glenn said that his row 3 seat in the corner for AEW was insanely cheap.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. There's been quite a few shows where their tickets have gotten real cheap just to try to get rid of them.
Well, I heard even for this show in UK, there were some pretty cheap seats. A lot of them were cheap, is what I read. Well, I think that's all I got.
All right. Well, we appreciate everybody joining us. If you missed Gonzo and the Judge last night, go check it out. You can find that Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, all at Gonzo Sports Room, and at the ASAP All Sports All Plays Network. You can also find it on the Sports Judge Facebook page as well. We'll be back with another episode of Easy Money, a sports betting show on Monday. So join us come join us Monday right around 3:00 for that. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo Sports Room. Like and follow Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, all at Gonzo Sports Room as well. Check out the ASAP All Sports All Plays Network, YouTube, Facebook. They also have the ASAP Sports Network app. Go check it out. You can find it at Apple, Google Play Store, Roku, Amazon, all those different places. We appreciate everybody joining us, and we will see you guys on Monday. Hope everybody has a great weekend.